Hi YouTube, this is Shayla with making lemonade from lemons, and I thought I would show you guys how I make my beef bone broth. So what I did was I have some beef bones from my local grocery store, and I also have some scraps. And this is from some meat that I had trimmed the fat and tendon and stuff away from whenever I was doing some, I believe it was maybe beef stew. I can't remember exactly, but anyways, so that's that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these, I'm going to stand them on end in here, and I'm going to do that to the 3 bags, and I'm going to put this in here, and then I'll be back and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so I have my beef bones and the scraps in the pan, and I am heating up the oven. I'm going to bake them in the oven for at about 400 degrees, and I'm just going to bake them until they're nice and golden brown, and you'll start to see crust, little where the juices come out, and it'll be a little crusty in there. And then what I'll do is once I get that done, I'll pull it out and I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you where we go from there. We'll be right back. Alright, so what I do once I have gotten the bones basically browned and cooked and stuff, I just start taking that out and I place that into my crock pot. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm also going to try to scrape off these little pieces right here, because that'll give it a lot more flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that and get those scraped in, and then I will be back.
Did I make too much noise?
Still not done. Okay, so what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in, I have a little bit of vinegar here. This is apple cider vinegar. I'm going to put that in as well. That'll help get the nutrients out of the bones. And then I have some herbs here that are from my garden. I have basil, oregano, and thyme. And so I'm going to do that. And then I just pour the water over. Alright, and I'm going to have to add a little bit more. Okay. Some more. Okay, that looks good. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the lid on this, on the crock pot, and I'm going to cook it on low. I'm actually going to cook it for a few days to get all of the nutrients out of the bones and the vegetables, and so that it's into the broth. So what I'll do is I will put this on, and once it's made, once it's done, once I'm done cooking it, I will bring you back and let you guys see what it looks like, and then let you guys see what I do with it from there. Okay, so it's been a few days, and what I did was I took the beef broth out of the crock pot, and I actually have something else in it right now. And that'll be for another video. And so what I did was I took it out, and then I put it in this pitcher with a lid on it, and I put it inside the fridge so that you can see that this layer is a layer of grease and fat, and this is the beef broth, the beef bone broth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skim the fat off, and then I'm going to heat this up and put it inside my jars, because my water is going to be hot. So since my water is going to be hot and my jars are going to be hot, then I want my broth to be hot too. So I'll warm this up, get it in jars, and then I'll can it on 10 pounds of pressure for 20 minutes for pints and 25 minutes for quarts. So I'm gonna get that done, and I'll bring you back for the final product. Okay, so I ended up with 2 jars of this beef broth, and I canned it, and now because it's sealed, I'll go ahead and take this off. When you're storing, you really always want to take the rings off. I did have 2 jars, like I said, but as those of you know who do canning, sometimes the jars are weak or whatever. Anyways, I had 1 jar that broke inside my canner, so I have a mess to clean up from that. But hey, I have a quart jar of really great beef broth, so I'll just have to, the last time I had bought the beef bones, like you saw, they were soup bones and that kind of thing. But what I'm gonna plan on doing from here on out is any bones that we have from roasts, any trimmings from anything like that, I'm just gonna save them all up, and a little bit at a time, put them in the freezer, and once I have enough, then I'm gonna make another batch. That's how I'm gonna do it for the beef broth. Now, if my generally, if I get a chicken, I'll do the same thing with the chicken, except I will roast the chicken, and then I'll take the bones after it's been roasted, and I'll use that and the onions and all that, and I'll do it in a big stock pot instead of doing it in the crock pot. So, but it's the same process. It's just instead of it cooking for days, I just cook it for several hours, boiling it on the stovetop in that big stock pot. And then the process is the same after that. Just, so we may not have a ton of the beef broth, and that's okay. We have a lot more chicken broth because we eat more chicken, that kind of thing. If my dad gets a deer this year, I'm going to ask him for the bones so that I can make bone broth from that, that kind of thing. My son is going to be hunting this year, so if he gets a deer or whatever, I will be canning some of the deer meat, and we'll be using the bones to make broth and that kind of thing as well. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. If you liked the video, just click like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications, and we'll see you soon.